Hello everyone, welcome to the session on communication electronics. In this session, we'll be discussing about the propagation of light in optical fiber. In this session, we will see what we mean by propagation of light in a medium. We will see the definition of refractive index of the medium. We will see the Snell's law of refraction, and also we will see the concept of total internal reflection that is being used in optical fiber. Friends, as you know that you are viewing this session on my YouTube channel, Learn with Prakash Kanade, and subscribe to the channel to see many videos on the subjects of electronics and computer science. So let us start the session with what we mean by propagation of light. We know that a light is a ray and it can travel through the medium. A light can travel through the air or it can also travel through the material medium. The material medium such as glass and plastic. Through such material medium, a light ray can easily travel. It is also possible that a light ray can travel from one medium into another medium. So whenever the light ray travels from the medium or through the medium, then it is being called as the propagation of light. When the light ray is incident from one medium into another medium, then we will find that the light ray will get refracted, and this phenomenon is being called as the refraction. Say for example, this is one medium which is having the refractive index n1, and this is another medium, and suppose the light ray is being incident from one medium into another medium, then one can easily observe that the light ray will get bended, and this happens due to the phenomenon called as the refraction. The propagation of the light ray in a medium can be measured by one parameter and of the medium, and this parameter is being called as the refractive index of the medium. So refractive index of a medium is a measure of a reduction in the velocity of the light in the medium. So whenever the light ray travels from air or vacuum, and when it enters into material mediums such as glass or plastic, then the velocity of the light ray will get decreased. And this reduction in the velocity of the light ray in the medium can be measured by using a parameter called as the refractive index of the medium. So now we can define the refractive index of the medium as eta is equal to, or n is equal to, c upon v, where c will stand for the velocity of light in vacuum or air, and v is the velocity of the light in medium. Since the numerator is lower than the denominator, numerator is higher than the denominator, so one can easily observe that the value of n is always greater than 1. So for air or vacuum, the value of n is equal to 1, but the value of n becomes greater than 1 for all material mediums such as glass or plastic. So whenever the light ray is being incident from one medium into another medium, then the light ray will make an angle with the normal. This is called as the angle of incidence. And the refracted light ray will make an angle with the normal, and that is being called as the angle of refraction. The velocity of the light in the material medium can also be written as v is equal to c upon n, and we can write v is equal to n lambda, and therefore the optical wavelength of the light ray lambda can be written as v upon n, where v is the velocity of the light ray in the material medium and n that will stand for the refractive index of the medium. So these formulas are useful whenever we deal with the study of the optical fibers. Now we will go for the discussion of the important law, and this law is being called as the Snell's law. Now suppose we have two mediums, and suppose the refractive indices of the mediums are n1 and n2, where we will assume that the value of n1 is greater than n2. Now suppose these are the two mediums. This first medium will have the refractive index N1. The second medium will have the refractive index N2, and value of N1 is greater than N2. Now suppose the light ray 1 is incident from N1 towards N2, then one can easily observe that this light ray will get refracted into another medium. Consider a light ray 2 with an increased angle of incidence. One can easily observe that it will also get refracted in the another medium. Consider a light ray 3. Now this light ray 3 makes a certain angle which is being called as the critical angle, and one can easily observe that this light ray will be refracted in medium in such a way that it will remain along the x-axis of the separation of the medium. If the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle, then one can easily observe that the light ray will not be refracted in another medium, but it will get reflected back in the same medium. So Snell's law is a formula that will describe the relationship between the angle of incidence and the angle of refraction. So theta I is the angle which is made by the incident ray with the normal, and suppose theta T is the angle which is made by the refracted ray with the normal. Then according to the Snell's law, N1 upon N2 is equal to sine of theta T divided by sine of theta I. So Snell's has proved that the ratio of N1 and N2 is equal to the ratio of sine of angle of refraction to the sine of angle of incidence. And therefore, we can write this equation as N1 into sine of theta I is equal to N2 sine of theta T. Now, when the angle of refraction is 90 degrees, then one can easily write sine of 90 degrees is equal to 1. That is when the light ray as shown in this diagram, say for example, the ray number 3, for this ray, the angle of refraction is equal to 90 degree, and therefore the sine of 90 degrees becomes equal to 1. Now in such a case, we can write down N1 sine of theta I is equal to N2, or theta I is equal to sine inverse of N2 upon N1. And this angle is being called as the critical angle theta C. That is when the angle of incidence is equal to or greater than the critical angle theta C, then the light ray will be reflected back in the same medium. That is when the angle of incidence is equal to theta C, then the light ray will not be refracted in another medium, but it will remain in the same medium. And this is the statement of the Snell's law. Now we will go for the discussion of important phenomenon, and this phenomenon is being called as the total internal reflection, and this is the basic principle that is being used in the optical fibers. So total internal reflection, you can say that it is a complete reflection of a light ray within the medium. So whenever we have a light ray incident from one medium into another medium, then when the light ray gets reflected back in the same medium, that is, it will not be refracted in another medium, but it will be reflected from the boundary in the same medium. And this will takes place when the angle of incidence of the light ray is greater than the critical angle, theta C. And this phenomenon is being called as the total internal reflection. So suppose we have two medium having the refractive indices N1 and N2, where N1 is greater than N2. Now suppose the light ray is incident from one medium into another medium. We know that this light ray will be refracted in another medium. Now when we go on increasing the angle of incidence, then we will find that at particular angle of incidence, theta C, the light ray will not be refracted in another medium, but it will get reflected in the same medium. Now, even if we increase the angle of incidence, one can easily observe that the light ray will be reflected back in the same medium. And this is what is to be called as the total internal reflection. So when the angle of incidence is less than the critical angle, then the light ray will be refracted in another medium. But when the angle of incidence becomes equal to the critical angle theta c or even greater than theta c, then the light ray will be reflected back in the same medium. And this phenomenon of total internal reflection is being used as a basic principle in the optical fiber to achieve the propagation of light. So in optical fiber, we will insert the light ray in such a way that the angle of incidence will be equal to theta c or it is greater than theta c, so that the phenomenon of total internal reflection takes place and the light ray will make a zigzag path along the fiber so that it can reach to the other end of the fiber. So for total internal reflection, the refractive index of the core must be higher than the refractive index of the cladding. So it is a basic condition that must be satisfied in the optical fiber. That is, the core through which the light ray is propagated must have a refractive index higher than the refractive index of the surrounding cladding. So if this condition is satisfied and if the angle of incidence is greater than theta c, then there will be total internal reflection. That is, the light ray will be propagated through the optical fiber. So the light ray that is being incident must be incident at an angle greater than the critical angle, and the refractive index of the core must be higher than the refractive index of the cladding. So when the light ray that are incident in the optical fiber at an angle greater than the critical angle, they can be propagated through the optical fiber by using the total internal reflection. So suppose we have taken a fiber and suppose we have incidented some light rays. Now these light rays will be propagated through the fiber if the angle of incidence is greater than the critical angle theta c, and such light ray will trace a zigzag path along the core of the fiber, and one can easily observe that the light ray which are incident at one end can be obtained at the other end of the optical fiber. So the light rays that are having the angle of incidence less than the critical angle, these light rays will not be propagated to the fiber, but they will be absorbed in the jacket of the fiber. But the light rays that are incident at one end can travel through the other end of the fiber, and whenever they travel through the optical fiber, they will trace a zigzag path as shown in this diagram. So because of this property of the optical fiber, you will find that the optical fibers can be used in the communication systems. So whenever we have some electrical signal, then that electrical signal we need to be converted into a light signal or optical signal. And this optical signal can be inserted into the optical fiber. And through the optical fiber, this light ray can be propagated over a long distance. So in modern communication systems, you will find that the conventional coaxial cables are being replaced by the optical fibers. So thank you friends for viewing the session. Hopefully you have understood what we mean by the refractive index, Snell's law, and the total internal reflection that is being used as a basic principle in the optical fiber. Thank you all for viewing the session.